All right, this is the crossover brought to you by Abundant Life Weight Loss. They know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every single day. Go to AbundantLifeWeightLoss.com. Mark Willard, Dan Dibley, Evan Giddings in for Matt Steinmetz, Joe the Guru Johnson. What's up, boys? What's going on?
We've been talking a lot of football.
I hear that.
Foosball today.
I hear that. Yeah.
It's just hitting me.
It's a little frightening.
Whoa, I appreciate that honesty.
No, it's a little frightening.
Rob.
But
that's nice.
Before we get to that,
Okay, what you got?
Guru,
Uh-oh.
we got to talk, man.
Oh, boy.
We have to have a conversation around these parts.
Oh, boy.
Hope it's not about knockout.
Look me in this
Okay.
eye.
All right, look
That's
at
exactly what it's
Because
about.
Myers just sent me a text about yesterday. I had to answer that.
Look me in the eye.
Okay, I'm looking dead in the eye.
Everybody around here loves you. You are one of the most infectious personalities and people that any of us have ever met. The listeners of this station, they love you.
All right.
Everybody
I believe you believe half of this, Willard.
you.
But why do you got to break this out? Where are we going?
Because I want
There's a
you
but.
to. You got to stop tying. You got to stop tying your self-worth to this free throw. This one free throw that you shoot one time.
It's actually been 2.
Why not 12 months?
And, yeah.
Every 12 months you shoot one free throw. And if it doesn't go in, it means that your whole world has fallen apart.
Well, the offensive rebound also.
Please.
That was the worst part. But I hear you. Yeah, I got you. Well, I'm hugging you from over here.
Even Steph misses a free throw.
But it was bigger than that. But
My man, look at me.
I got you.
Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But when you hit the 50
okay.
burger, you take your athletic feats or the ones you're trying to reach and milestones to another level. And I tried to relive my high school life. I was on the bench in high school. I got in with that, But I tried to get all that back with the free throw, and I drove home and parked the caddy, and I said, even if you would have won it, you didn't score 30 at Rucker Park, Goo.
Right.
It was a free throw. So I am cleansed.
It's a free
Myers
throw.
texted me, said, "What? I just saw what happened." Laughing smile face. I missed.
You missed
Back,
the
let
free
me go. Right. I missed it.
You're a
Myers Leonard?
something-year-old man.
Bob Myers.
And you missed a free throw.
I just stick up for
Willard,
him.
I love you for this.
Okay.
I told him Bob Myers' free throw percentage in college.
Imagine if Jonathan
60.
Kuminga felt this way when he missed a free throw.
All right. Willard's my guy.
He'd be emotionally cratered for the whole, dude, you missed a free throw. That's it.
What's scary, real quick, Willard,
And a putback.
what's scary is it was
the one.
knockout, and it was a free throw contest, but this is where I'm going. But it was something else to me, and I need to find out what. It was bigger than what was going.
Why?
I can't get my glory. Shout out Denzel back from the days. It's over. And I think that's why I'm shooting hoop at any 24-hour fitness that'll let me in, is I'm searching for something.
You're like Kevin Durant on the free agent market right now, man.
I was hurt walking out of that.
Stop searching and just be. You got a good life, man. And so you missed a free throw. And we're going to do it again next year. And I want you to stop because I feel like you've already had a talk with yourself about next year. We got 364 days to go, and I'm going to be ready.
No,
That's literally the first thing he said when he got back to the booth.
But there were talks about me walking away, Dibs.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stay up in. Like what I did to you. You had to change your schedule.
Right, don't go Brett
And the line
Favre.
of the day was, I thought I was going to, I'm walking up the stairs, and I hear Dibs on the mic. I thought I was going to be here with you longer.
Yeah.
Those are the things that hurt.
I had to rapid fire my takes. I mean, I had to give him
just about to get into something.
Yeah, I was starting to get comfortable with Evan, and he and I haven't done a lot of radio together.
This hurts me.
I admire Evan a lot, and I was kind of looking
You were
forward to it.
excited. I saw you when I
I was
left.
excited, yeah. I tapped you out, and you went down there, and you were getting loose, and I thought you were in heat 3, and so I thought I had like 45 minutes or so. I thought that I was going to be able to stretch out, and then all of a sudden, you got eliminated, and here you come trudging up the stairs, and I was like, Evan,
nowhere to go, just walking
Evan, I got like
aimlessly,
4
man.
takes I need to get off.
Willard, I love you, man. I'm over it.
It was like the pitch clock in baseball when you go to get popcorn and you have to wait in the line. You came back and went, damn, this goes fast.
Yeah.
Even Bob heard about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, social media is a big thing. So anyway, everybody still loves you.
No, I appreciate it.
And
No one didn't before.
That's my point. But it's okay. You miss a free throw. You actually probably
But I'm searching for something.
But you probably do a lot better in the damn tournament if you didn't care so much. I'm for real.
Austin and San Jose, guru elimination sensation.
It's an elimination sensation. Wow, Austin.
Honestly, it's not about the free throw. It's about you and the mic and drill. And I don't know if you know about the mic and drill, but the mic and drill is where you do a layup on one side, a layup on the other side. Layup, layup,
all day. We
layup.
did STYO, Eddie House.
You do 50 straight layups, putbacks, and I'll never forget watching Dan Hunt at Drake High School in '82 doing the mic and drill, 6'7", future state champ. I'm like, what's going on here? And somebody told me it's the mic and drill. And had you done the mic and drill, you wouldn't have missed the putback. It's not the free throw that got you. It was the putback, and I just was watching the video before the show. Your free throw was good. It was bounce, 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 bounce.
Stop it, Dibs.
You got the rebound, and then...
But I'm just telling you, I'm black, but everything went black. Once I got that rebound, it was over.
Yeah.
You could have had 10 rims. I was done, Evan. Pressure got to me.
Look, sometimes you go in for the smooch, and the person doesn't kiss you back. That was the rim on that play. But you got to be there to clean it up, all right? You got to bounce back.
Exactly.
Thank you, Willard. But back to the Niners.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
All right, I got you.
Mr. Free
You're going to be okay. By the way,
he missed a bunny. Forget the free throw.
Let's say
bunny.
All right, he missed a bunny.
Well, because he was asking afterwards, what was I expecting to happen? If I won it all, what was I going to do?
I can answer that question.
Right,
what were you expecting? You should be expecting nothing.
Okay.
Just expect
That's what
nothing.
Brandon got. He got the same trophy he won last year.
Yeah, but
He
look
didn't
how
have a
smug
second
he
one.
is over there. He's back-to-back Drake.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him.
A lot of smug going around here.
Niners, where you guys at? Will, for you to say, Dibs, wow.
I think it's scary. I think the whole thing.
I appreciate that honesty.
The whole thing is really scary right now because if you just sort of trace this back to last year, it feels to me like the 49ers, and I get it. You come that tantalizingly close to a Super Bowl, and then when you lose it, that's what drives all your decisions all off season long, which is, God, we're right there. If we just, and then you look at what they did, and it's a restructure of Deebo, and it's a give Brandon a contract that, damn it, I come on, we knew the second he signed it. I came in here at this chair, and I went, well, that was dumb. What the hell are you doing? I don't even understand why the wide receiver market is what it is, let alone that the Niners are in it for a player who's very good, but is not a top 5 to 7 receiver in this game. So why did you do that? Because you're so tantalizingly close that you let that run your actions. And then Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey and the whole list. And then what you get is 6-11. And then we come back the following year. You trade Deebo for a song. You're taking calls on Brandon Aiyuk. And you're having press conferences openly talking about changing the financial structure as you get ready to sign your quarterback. But, oh, by the way, send all the reporters out there to be like, by the way, that's not guaranteed either. Not sure what's going on with the quarterback. I think that this is a really scary few months to see what it is the 49ers are actually cooking up.
I like that. So go ahead, Dibs. I can't wait, but that was honesty.
It is, and I mean, if you look at like all the other wide receivers around the league, guys who are either going to get cut or traded, and you make these deals, and Amari Cooper, a guy who probably will get either cut or traded. Devontae Adams, he's now out there, out and about, and all these other teams that have these wide receivers. Cooper Kupp, you think that the Rams don't think that he's good? Of course they do, but he's making too much money. So in the NFL, you get these contracts, and it works out or it doesn't short term, and then you have to make the cap hit. You got to eat the cap, and you got to make the move and get rid of these players. But the Deebo one, we all saw coming. Last year, we all talked about how in a year, they probably won't have both Brandon and Deebo on the team. But you restructured Deebo, and you signed Brandon. Brandon got hurt. Deebo got restructured, and now you don't want Deebo anymore. You trade him, and now you have to eat more than $30 million on the cap for Deebo, and Brandon won't play. So, like, what's your approach here, Niners? And I know that Mark and I will get into it about how much money they want to lay out in total cash. And Jed York, the owner, has been really forthright about giving everyone money. You got Christian, restructure, Trent, restructure, Brandon, big contract. Brock Purdy's going to get a big contract. All this money going out. You were 6-11. So at some point, if you're the owner and you're the one who has to open up the vault, you have to say, enough. Enough is enough. Like, we got to do something different here.
Well, that's what I think is interesting about the messaging from Lynch and from the front office. It's it's almost like they're talking like they have a ton of time. And when you start losing games, your life expectancy as an executive shrinks. And so the fact that they're talking about moving forward with Brock, but on their terms, or, we got to be a little more careful. It's all these problems are kind of a result of the holes that they dug with all these albatross deals in the first place. They can't just wish them away and bring in new players. So it's going to take multiple drafts, I think. It's going to take time. And I just wonder if, again, like, does John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, by extension, feel like they have a lot of time because people want results? I think they're going to be better next year, mainly by virtue of their schedule.
But they earned that time to me. As much as I throw rocks at them, they've built something. They didn't cash in. We talked about it. But they've earned. The people are calling here like they've done nothing. And I'm like, that's where it gets unfair.
No, I don't think they've done nothing. But this idea that they're bulletproof, to me, is also a little bit wishful.
Well, but that might be from the fans' perspective, maybe even some of the media's perspective. I don't think it's Jed's perspective. I do think they have some time. I don't think that there's any hot seat thing going on there now. If they take this schedule they've got this year and they rock another 6 or 7 wins, then we're going to be having a different conversation. What scares me, though, anytime you hear a professional sports team publicly start talking about money, I get really uncomfortable as a fan. Like, you look at even what the Warriors have done. At one point, they're just like, look, we want to reset the apron. And then they do. And then even within that year, you acquire Jimmy Butler, you sign an extension, and you head out for the hills to be like, we're spending again. Like, when you tell me, and I don't know how many people saw this, but 2 different reporters yesterday who are tapped in, I think, both when Deebo goes and you hear rumors of Brandon and then Devontae Adams gets released, and you hear reporters go, I hear the 49ers are really happy with their receiver room. They don't think they need another one. And you know who they really, really like? Tariq Owens. They actually really like Tariq. When you start doing that, Kyle Kami said it. When you start doing that, you start feeling very San Francisco Giants-ish to me.
No doubt.
They don't sell me on Lamont Wade is going to be a great player.
You sound like the birds that flew over Kmart. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Yeah, not
nice. That's a 4. That's a solid 4.
No, it's bad for fans whenever you are openly talking about needing to be saving money.
Wow. And what I've told Evan, and you guys just tell me what you think, what I don't like just across the board in sports is when you have the track record of Lynch and Kyle in regard to what you built and the contracts that now look faulty and you're second guessing. And Evan, we talked about it. I want somebody to come in this studio or even call, maybe tomorrow, before the weekends, and tell me which one you would have said, I'm not giving you the bread, especially the one when I start with the running back, McCaffrey. I would have sent him a Zelly. I would have sent him a Cash App. Whatever you need, you got. And the Warriors and the Niners did that. It backfired. Trent Williams, and it goes on and on. But what I'm telling Evan and what I'm going to leave here today with is I don't like when the Niners now are acting like they got punked in these negotiations and now all of a sudden we're going to be renegades and the next one. I don't like, just show us, don't talk about it.
Right.
And they haven't technically said that, but who would you have done something different? The guys you paid deserve to get, okay, and that was Evan's answer.
Ayuk, and that's the way it went. Right. And you drafted Pearsall, and still, when push came to shove, you caved. You could have traded him, you didn't, and you got down to the nitty-gritty, and you got a little nervy, Parag, and you gave him the bag, and that was a mistake. Evan.
Wow. I never thought about this before, but now looking back on it, what are the dates of when Ricky was shot and Brandon was signed? I want to look back at that.
Brandon was signed before he got shot, though.
Was he?
I'm the guru computer.
For sure you found out that on 95.7 The Game, which you're listening to, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. It doesn't change the fact, though, that, I mean, they basically paid him to just keep the band together.
Wow.
And again, we were just kind of hypothetically throwing out, like, of the 3 guys, Brandon Aiyuk's the one that if it all happens this offseason is not getting paid. You might still look at Christian McCaffrey as indispensable. You might still looking at Trent Williams as indispensable. Some of the deals that they've made, because Goo, I think, pointed out appropriately, like, we weren't saying this at the time. Ayuk's the only one that you could look at and say, in his own words, I'm a fourth option in a run-first offense. That doesn't sound indispensable to me. That doesn't sound like a $30 million player, and yet the Niners still caved. They still gave in.
Why?
They gave him the money. Well, they gave it to him because they felt like they needed him to be at a Super Bowl caliber level. They paid to keep the band together, and then the band fell apart.
Wow.
I mean, that's the way that I read it.
Yep. Ayuk signed 2 days before Pearsall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So,
no,
that's a good quote. Wow.
Well, no, and so that kind of it breaks apart what had crossed my mind, which was, did the Pearsall shooting make them blink? I don't know what made them blink. And again,
I think what Evan just said is exactly right.
Yep.
They felt like with Deebo and with Jawan and Ayuk and McCaffrey, we didn't know then that he would not play more than just a couple of games.
man.
You thought that you had all your 5 eligibles, you had your best guys ready to go, and Kittle and Trent. We didn't know about Trent in his personal, travails, which were tragic, and Mooney Ward and all the rest of it. You thought Drake Greenlaw would come back sooner. Whatever you thought, okay, Brandon and Deebo, Christian and George and Juszczyk and Jawan and the rookie Pearsall. Man, we are loaded for bear. We can make this run. And well, everything went kind of south for everyone.
I think
Except
also.
Kittle.
Well, no, I think also they probably thought they might be able to trade the contract, in a year, and then there are teams that they might be shopping to.
Yeah.
Right now, it's a lot harder to do that now that he's hurt. But I'm sure you didn't see his value taking a freaking dive off the cliff. I mean, the other part is, with the wide receiver, I think wide receivers were more tradable last year, or they were more valued last year. This last year was, the year of the running back, and Saquon Barkley now is the first $20 million running back. Derrick Henry is revived. It's like, wide receivers a year later are far less important, it does appear. And maybe to your point, Willard, last off season is where the bubble bursts for the wide receiver market, and Brandon Aiyuk is kind of the face of it.
I definitely think so, although it wasn't even just, like, Brandon might be the face of it, but if you look around the league, cost-benefit analysis, you look at what the Cowboys paid and what they got out of that.
CD.
Yeah. I guess, Justin Jefferson, to me, that's kind of a set aside. But also look at how successful the Kansas City Chiefs have been the second they didn't pay Tyreek Hill and move him along. I mean, you could do this up and down the league. I would argue.
I think Buffalo's a good example too.
Yep. They decided to just move on from their high-priced guys. And so, again, I'm not here to say receivers aren't valuable and that they're not going to get paid.
But
the fact that they're essentially out there dancing around as the second highest paid player in the game, or third, it's pass rushers and receivers are side by side. That's ridiculous.
And Barkley gets this new contract, and it's easy for me to say, and a guy making nothing saying it's peanuts, because we all know what he brought to the Eagles and what he fixed. And that contract today for the Barry Sanders is just like, you got to be kidding me.
Well,
come on. But running backs matter. I got that from Evan. But come on, man. That just bothers me.
Look up and down the league, and this might now tilt it too far in the other direction. But last year in the league, everybody wanted to pay their receiver. What did they really get out of that? And the Eagles paid their receivers. I don't know how much that had to do with them winning. Saquon feels like the main reason Philly was better this year. All of the running backs that were cast aside, there's a whole list of them.
Oh, my gosh.
From Saquon to Derrick Henry to Joe Mixon, and we could go on and on.
Jacobs.
Absolutely. They're all over the league, and almost all of them went to the playoffs for $10 million. And you're out here paying $35 for your wide receiver?
Evan, would you do me a favor before we get out of here? And I didn't run this by you.
I can try.
I know two things are going to happen. We'll never see Bigfoot. And can you play the Schefter sound in regard to Brock possibly playing this year out on the – listen to this.
Yes, I can.
All right.
The Niners, if they don't sign Brock Purdy this offseason, and here's a team that really is up against it financially, if they don't sign him, and Brock Purdy obviously is going to want to get a deal done, and the Niners would want to get a deal done. But the issue is he's scheduled to make $5.1 million this season. He then could be tagged after next season for $41 million. He could be tagged the season after that for $51 million. So if you don't get a deal done with Brock Purdy, and you're the Niners, and again, this would not be what Brock Purdy would want, I would imagine. Certainly not what his agent would want. He would play for $5 million this year, 41 next year, 51 the year after. You're talking about $97+ million over the next 3 years, which for most people would be incredible money, but not for a quarterback who's waiting to get paid. And so the Niners have a bit of a cap issue, cash issue, and so they can't put Brock Purdy necessarily where he might be. They can go to a certain level. They'd want to pay him, but it's not going to be, I would imagine, quite as high as most people think.
So no Bigfoot, in no way they would. If you really want to be Billy Badass Dibs and tell me everything's changed, you would say show up to work and he can hold out. But that would never happen, right?
Never say never.
Or has the 6 and 11 changed? Or if you guys are right about this bitterness in regard to the contract.
You're saying what would never happen?
The Niners saying, Brock, we want franchise. We want to play this year out on $5 million. No way.
To me, this is a complete negotiating ploy. Like someone called Schefter, right? And they're like, say this, please. Here's the script. Say this. And this is them trying to chill Brock and his agent out.
Okay, because
That's all.
Come on, man.
I mean,
he saved their jobs.
Did we really overnight go from you're the big badass Jed York-led San Francisco 49ers, multiple Super Bowl trips in the last 6 years, and the most cap space in the league for this season? Did we go from that and overnight? You sound like the Raiders.
Right.
How many times do we have to listen the Niners are cash strapped? No, you're not. What? What are we talking about here? No, I don't read that way at all. Again, I go back to what you just said earlier, and we've said a few times. Niners are tired of losing the deal, and they don't want to lose this one. So this is the narrative they're going to go with.
Real quick, Dibs, how much of losing the deal is bad luck? They didn't know McCaffrey was going to, unless you sent him to Kaiser. They didn't know Trent was going to, the money made sense at the time. They got bad luck. So I guess, Willard, I just got a problem with people calling it a bad deal because at the time, everybody was status quo. Dibs deserved that. Now, had we been able to look at a crystal ball and see you miss 8 games, or Aiyuk getting hurt, but I think it's a bunch of bad luck.
Well, I think the Aiyuk deal was a bad deal because you paid too much money for a guy who's not a top 5, a top 8 receiver.
That one, okay.
Forget whether or not he got hurt. You don't use receivers like that. So that was a bad deal. And you gave Deebo a restructure, and then you realized a year later that you wanted to trade him or he wanted out, and you agreed. And so you restructured him and you front loaded a lot of money that is now going to be a cap hit. And Trent Williams, you restructured him and he's 36, going to be 37. So was that a bad deal? It sure looks like it. And McCaffrey, he's a guy who's had an injury history, and then you gave him a restructure, and he was the highest paid running back until earlier today. And so he's a guy who also got hurt, an older player, an older running back. So I don't just look at the injury and say, well, that's just bad luck. You put money into positions you don't really need that much, and older players, you get what you get.
Wow.
Yeah, I just wonder if last year was the last dance.
Wow, man.
What does that make this season?
That would make last year a Super Bowl or bust, and we don't want to say that.
There's an entire offseason ahead.
No doubt.
There's an entire offseason.
No doubt.
These are, to me, narratives. They are ploys. These are not actions yet. These are words. And I don't suddenly think that the 49ers are out on the streets crying poor.
Sam Cooke said a change going to come. So there will be some changes. We'll see.
They're trying to re-grab the perceived control of their organization, which I think they think got a little out of control the last 2 off seasons.
Well,
that's what it feels like to me.
It's going to be a big draft for the Niners.
No doubt. Oh, my gosh.
Huge.
How many picks?
I'm not sure.
I want to say 11.
72.
An awful lot.
Well, and I don't know if all the comp picks have been assigned yet.
So
and they got some comp picks coming in, but they're probably going to have between 10 and 12 or 13 picks. And they've been better in that third round and later. So can you hit on your first round pick, your second round pick? Do you trade back and get more picks? This feels to me more and more like a year where you want more picks than you want high picks because you need bodies.
Yeah. And Bosa needs help.
Yes, they do. Well, it's been a fun show, Gil.
Yeah.
Let these
See you
guys
tomorrow, baby.
lock in. Warriors Live coming up at 3:30.
3:30.
Oh,
Warriors
you guys
Live.
are early day.
Yeah. These East Coast trips, man, they're rough on us.
Boy.
They're rough on us. We got to do this 90-minute show. It's
I
crazy.
love it.
Right on.
Crazy.
Talk to you same time, same place tomorrow. Willard and Dibs coming up next on 95.7 The Game.
Gil, let me just give you one piece of advice. When you miss, because you will miss.
Oh, Evan told me.
You get that rebound quick, unlike last year, and you put it back up.
No doubt about it.
And then you go to the back line if you make the layup.
No doubt. Not planning on being on the back of the line a few times.